go In the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. In the Huddle is driven by Mills Fleet Farm. From Tanner Sports Grill in Kimberly, here is Justin Hall and Packers defensive back Davon House.
And good evening and welcome to Tanner's in Kimberly in the Huddle here on the Woodward Radio Network. Back for another week. Man to my left, 4 tackles yesterday, including a sack of RG3, Davon House. Welcome back, Davon.
Thank you.
Fun little game yesterday.
Yeah, well, especially when we win.
38-20 over the Washington Redskins. I thought the first half, just kind of going back to that, was about as good of a half all around for you guys, special teams, offense, and defenses. I've seen in sometimes. Did it feel that way out there that you guys are just clicking on almost all cylinders?
Yeah, really first 3 quarters on the defensive side. We feel like we dominated, played Packer football. We just missed 15 minutes to the last quarter. It wasn't our best quarter, but what you saw the first 3 quarters, hopefully we get that every single game.
Does it happen where you get a little lead, you get a little complacent maybe, a little comfortable, a little too comfortable, and back in a prevent, not letting anything happen, and they kind of dink and dunk, picked up some yards there?
Yeah, of course, because, it's 31-0, so all we think, at the end of the day, if we win, a win's a win. So that's all we care about is winning. So we don't want them to, throw bombs and score. 2 plays, they score, 2 plays, they score. When you see a lot of, they have, 200-some yards of passing in the second half, that's because we're up 31-0, and we don't want them to score no more points.
Coming off on that corner blitz, sneaking up on RG3, getting the arms around him, bringing him to the ground. What's that like for a defensive back to record a sack? You guys are in the business of picking off the football, but when you can go out there and do what the big boys do, what's that like for you?
It feels good, especially when the big guys, they work all practice and all day just trying to touch the quarterback, and we go in one time and sack the quarterback. It feels good. I get to brag a little bit. So now they call me the sack master now.
So do they call Mike Neal the pick master because the big man came back and kind of did what you guys normally do, got the first interception of the year?
I guess you're right. So I guess you say it's Mike Neal's island.
What do you expect what did you guys expect from RG3 going in? Watching him on Monday, and that first half was, I think a lot of people were astonished to see how rusty he looked, got a little more comfortable. Heading into this week, I'm assuming the feeling was he was going to be a lot more like second half RG3 on yesterday.
Yeah, that's what we expect. We expected him to be RG3, a guy who can run the ball and do great things and throw on a run and make plays. I don't know if it's because he might be a little rusty because he didn't do no preseason, or maybe it's knee, or I'm going to say it's because we played great defense. That's why they didn't score no points the first 3 quarters, and we dominated the way we did because our defense did a great job.
I have to bring this up because I thought it was hilarious. The Redskins were struggling in the first half offensively and defensively. Somebody tweeted out that their first half MVP was the Packer pylon because that prevented James Jones from getting into the end zone. I thought that was pretty good. Oh, no response. All right. First time in Packer history, 400 yards passing for a player and 100 yards rushing in the same game. Accomplishment for Aaron and James and the offensive line and the receivers too.
Yeah, really James, because I believe during training camp, rumors going around that he might get traded or whatnot, might get released. And, his first time really seeing some action in a long time, and he runs for 125 plus yards is great. And the funny part about it, with the defensive side wise, we know James can play. Did it the year they won the Super Bowl. Just sometimes, players get nicked up. And from what I know of, James is really healthy and confident. And when he's confident and healthy, you get games like that.
Yeah, I think you saw that this year too, because in training camp, right from the get-go, he was one of the guys that really picked up a lot of steam right in the beginning, because drafting Eddie Lacy and Jonathan Franklin, and I'm sure, 5 guys in the running back spot, you're battling for roster spots, so everybody gets a little extra spark, a little bit extra fire to go out, and James definitely has done that.
Yeah, he has.
One other number, too, 280 yards after the catch for the receivers. I believe second most in Packer history or wherever. I know that's not an official stat, but it's kind of kept there. I'm sure as a defensive back, you know how tough it can be when those wide receivers go off for the yak, and you guys did that yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I asked Jordy, I said, is it really that easy? He kind of just laughed and said, well, I guess so. I mean, the first game, Jordy went for 130 plus. Randall went for 105, I believe. This game, JJ went for 140 plus. Well, 180, something like that. Ran another 100-yard game. I was like, well, everyone gonna switch off every week, or what's the deal?
480 through the yard for Aaron Rodgers, ties the franchise single-game record with Matt Flynn. I know a couple of the offensive linemen were joking that they were going to text Flynn and tell him he's still the man. So I'm sure we see that. And Jared Bush out in the game yesterday, and he's kind of been the Dalai Lama of special teams, so to say, over the years. Really the big guy. And Davon comes out yesterday, a few special teams tackles. I believe he got a little notoriety with that too, with the team, and a great job on special teams. Just kind of talk about your role yesterday in that capacity.
Well, I mean, really, even week one, Joe set aside me and said, if one of the corners get hurt, you'll be the next guy in. But besides that, you'll be playing special teams. So my attitude is, whatever I'm doing, I'm gonna do it to the best I can and make an impact on it. Even last week was my first time ever being active for week one. So this was the first time ever being active for week two. So to me, it's all excitement and ready to make plays. I had 3 tackles last week on special teams and 2 more this week. So whatever I'm doing, I'm just going to try to make plays and help our team win. How
about the noise level with the south end zone now fully enclosed? Did you notice a difference? Was it louder yesterday at Lambeau?
Yeah, it is. Even though it's hard for us to communicate out there on defense because it's so loud. But, it helps us and it distracts the offense, the opponent's offense. So keep screaming.
You mentioned that first game of being active in week one for the home opener. What was that like for you?
What'd you say now?
Being active for the home opener for the first time, what was that like?
Oh, it was a blessing. I said that to one of our trainers today. Today was my first home game being active for the opening, so it was a blessing.
Well, we'll get to our Compass Land Consultants injury report coming up here in the next segment. Also, we will introduce you to our special guest for tonight, our interactive segment coming up later with our tweets and our Facebook, and a whole lot more with Davon and Sean Richardson. And we'll introduce you to Sean coming up in a moment. In the Huddle here on the Woodward Radio Network. And we are back here in the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network from Tanner Sports Grill in Kimberly, along with Packer co-host Davon House, Justin Hull with you, and welcome our guest to the podium as well in his second season out of Vanderbilt. He wears number 28, safety Sean Richardson. Sean, thanks for coming out.
Great, thank you for having me.
How are things going? I know you're on the PUP list right now, trying to get back from the neck injury. Where are you at?
It's with having a herniated disc is very serious, and we've taken a lot of cautions. But I feel great. I'm healthy. I'm back in shape. Lifting weights, working out with the guys. The only thing I can't do, is practice. But I feel like my body will let me practice if I wanted to. I just got to convince the doctors to clear me. But like I said, it's been a long journey. But, I came a long way. I feel great. And hopefully soon I will get the green light.
Now, what are the rules on the PUP list? Until week 6, is that the first time you can be cleared to go, and then how does that work?
Correct. Week 6, I'm not really familiar with it, but from the rundown that I was given, it's 6 weeks automatically, and I want to say the bye week does count, so I would only miss 5 games. So hopefully, I'll be back out there week 6, but you're able to practice 2 weeks after, they clear you, and then they, make the decision to activate you or put you on IR or something like that. But you have 2 to 3 weeks up until, so, anywhere between week 10 maybe when I can, be out there.
And it's got to be good, Davon, too, to see Sean around working out with his teammates, really getting back to getting out there and helping you guys out.
Yeah, it is. I mean, one of the main reasons I brought Sean on the show today, even though he's not active right now, I'm kind of going to bite my tongue for saying this, but Sean is probably one of the hardest workers on the team. And like he said, he's working out, he's doing everything full speed. You wouldn't even thought he was hurt if you see the way he works out. I mean, I wish I had his work ethic. I really do. But he works really hard, and he's ready to get back on the field, and I'm excited to be back out there with him.
Now, finding out about the injury, too, was kind of a surprise. I mean, it kind of came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, you found out what was going on, right?
Yeah, it was definitely a surprise for all of us because I did it New York Giants game, their first play of the game, actually, and I played throughout the entire game with it and even practiced the next week, and we didn't go get a MRI until that Friday just to, be cautious and make sure it wasn't nothing seriously wrong, and that's when we got the bad news.
Well, we'll talk a little more about Sean's journey in a second here. I do want to get to our Compass Land Consultants injury report, taking a look at what happened in yesterday's game. Compass Land Consultants, a full-service real estate consulting business specializing in the sale of vacant land, including hunting property. Let the experts at Compass Land lead you to victory in the search for that perfect piece of land to call your own. They have parcels, all shapes and sizes, on water and off water. Whether it's only 1st and 10 or 4th and inches in your searching process, the experts at Compass Land can help you find pay dirt. Give them a call today, 800-548-6933, or check them out at clclands.com. You're a hunter and a fisher, right? Did I read that correctly in your bio? Yeah. There you go. Let's talk a little bit about yesterday's game with that. Morgan Burnett out, questionable through the week, and sat him out a week with that hamstring injury. You guys know more about Morgan for us?
With this injury?
Yes. Just trying to get better, trying to get out there?
Definitely.
With Morgan, really don't want to say too much about his injury.
Okay.
Because it's his injury. It's probably best that he speaks of his injury. But I will tell you this, he'll be back soon. And when he does, our defense will most definitely get better. Like we say in secondary, he's probably our leader out there, our coach out there, I guess you can say. So, yeah, we're missing him. Yeah, we're missing him. But, the young guys, J-Mac, Banjo, MD, are all stepping up and doing a great job. But he should be back no later than 4 weeks, just guessing. Yeah. But he'll be back very soon, though.
Yeah, him and Casey Hayward both out with hamstring injuries. Hoping to get those guys back soon. Nick Perry with his neck stinger, Josh Sitton with the back, and Jermichael Finley with his toe. All were in question heading in, but all of them played. I know Jermichael had to leave yesterday's game, cramped up a little bit. And then the Eddie Lacy concussion, Brandon Merriweather, kind of an interesting day for him with a couple of questionable hits with the helmet-to-helmet. Kind of took out Eddie Lacy and then went in on James, and James won that battle, it seemed like, as Brandon was he concussed and had to leave the game there too. So kind of interesting. We'll talk about Eddie Lacy a little bit more in that kind of play, because I want to get your guys' thoughts on as a defensive back. When you're coming up making that hit and, all the helmet-to-helmet rules and that, it can't be running through your mind. You just got to go out there and play football, right?
Yeah, that's what we're taught to do, go out there and play football, Things happen, you try to, lower your target, and stay below the neck area and the head area. But at the same time, you have wide receivers catching the ball, cringing up. And so sometimes we have that target, and as we committed, you have a wide receiver cringe, absorb the blow, and sometimes when they drop their head, it makes the defense look bad, the defensive player, because we head helmet to helmet, and then we get flagged and fined and all that. But but at the same time, you just have to go out there and play ball and try to play within the rules.
Well, let's get back to more from Sean and his story coming to Green Bay. Undrafted last year out of Vanderbilt. What was your decision to come to Green Bay as an undrafted free agent? I'm sure you had a few opportunities out there, right?
Yeah, actually I had like 14 offers, but talking to my agent, we narrowed it down to which ones would be the best fit for me. And Green Bay has a background of, free agent making the team, so I took that as a very important key and the reason why I chose Casey Hayward being here. We was both teammates back at Vandy. That made it a lot easier as well. I knew I had someone out there that, I'm accustomed to playing with and stuff like that. And, after talking to the coaches and stuff, and after I got up here, I knew it was the right decision because Green Bay, the fans are awesome, the organization, everybody. So it was just a great decision. And
you mentioned undrafted free agents making an impact on it. 4 made it last year to the 53-man roster. Desmond Moses, Don Barclay, and Jarrett Boykin and yourself. So, it's chances all around. Chris Banjo did it this year after a guy who's been in a couple of camps and didn't get an opportunity, and he's been able to latch on. But you're right about that. This is an organization that definitely gives you an opportunity as an undrafted guy to make an impact. Davon, take us back to your first impression of Sean coming into the meeting room and coming into the locker room.
First time seeing Sean, I was like, dang, this guy's big. Cause he's 6'2", maybe.
6'2.5".
6'2.5".
Make sure that's right.
It probably looks 225, and he's swole, and he can run too. So he's what you want in a safety. Big, strong, fast, and he can jump and run. And I was glad he was on our team. He's probably, as soon as he does get healthy, he'll be back there on special teams, helping us out on special teams and getting there on defense as well. But and he's another big part in our special teams, running the R5s and R4s, busting up the wedges and disrupting other teams' special teams.
You mentioned before the hunting and fishing. You also like four-wheel riding. This is the perfect place for you, Sean.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's why people always ask me, how's Green Bay? And I was like, it's just like back home, country, quiet, you can do a lot of outdoor stuff, and that's what I love. That's what I grew up doing, Grew up on the farm, doing all the country things, so it's embedded in me.
Linden, that's the hometown, Linden, Alabama?
Linden, Alabama, 2 traffic lights. 2 traffic lights.
And that might explain this. You played quarterback, running back, wide receiver, safety, and cornerback. I'm assuming that all at the same time, right? you might have to with 2 traffic lights. You probably had, 17 guys on the team?
Yeah. No, actually, we was a small 1A school, but we had like 32 guys on the team, but we was a great team, and we had great coaches and stuff. But I did play a lot of different positions, and especially like when we played the tougher teams, you always want to get the ball to the best player, make sure he had a ball in his hands. The coaches were smart with that deal.
Yeah. Sean Richardson, Davon House, we are in the huddle. More from Tanner's and Kimberly here on the Woodward Radio Network. And we are back here at Tanner's Sports Grill in Kimberly in the huddle on the Woodward Radio Network, along with our Packer host, cornerback Davon House, and safety Sean Richardson. We have our social media segment coming up. You still have a few more minutes to get your questions in. You can head over to Facebook, facebook.com/InTheHuddleShow, and like the page. You can post on the wall, submit your questions there. Or if you follow us on Twitter, @InTheHuddleShow, and tweet your questions in. And we'll get to those questions coming up in the next segment. So time right now for our wild card segment, where we like to go off the board a little bit, do something a little different, a little fun. And since we have a couple of defensive backs today, I thought it would be fun to see how well you know your fellow defensive backs.
Oh, we good.
Okay. So I got a few different facts about some of the defensive backs on the team, so I just want you to pick out who it is, okay?
We're young, so,
I know.
Can't go back in the 80s.
Most of you guys. No,
70s.
We're not going to go back to Tiger Green or anybody like that, so. These are your teammates, so we'll be good here. We're going to start out with this one. This defensive back really has 2 career interceptions, even though he's credited with 1.
Oh.
Davon?
Yeah, you don't know it?
I didn't know that.
You really have 2?
Oh, no, I know who it is.
Oh, go ahead. Just blurt it out.
I'm going to say it's John McMillan.
No. Really has 2, but officially in the record books has 1.
Oh, MD.
MD Jennings. Yeah, sorry.
Hey, you did a bad way to explain the question.
All right. We'll try. I'll try better here. This defensive back plays 3 musical instruments, including the trombone, the drums, and the tuba.
House.
No.
He looked at me like, you better
I
get
looked
this
at you
right.
like,
I play the
don't say
trombone,
me.
man. I'm in the
Don't
marching
say me.
band.
I would have to say something like that has to be. I would say it has to be JB, Jared Bush.
Jared Bush, correct?
I knew it.
All right.
That's what I wanted to say, Jay.
Yeah, it had to be JB.
You see him running around playing a tuba? No,
I can't
That's
see
a
it.
little.
I can't see it.
All right. Played offense his first 3 years in college before switching to defensive back for his senior season.
Small school, you think no small?
Actually, no.
Whoa.
You got a lot of small school guys, though. Might be the biggest school out of the bunch. Take a guess?
I have no.
He has
Micah Hyde.
No. He has a big tattoo on his neck of a Super Bowl ring.
Super Bowl ring.
Sam Shields.
Sammy?
Sam Shields.
Oh, I'm
He went to Miami.
Wide receiver. Come
I'm
on.
tripping.
He played wide receiver. Yep.
Golly. We sucking.
Let's see here. Went to SMU.
Banjo.
Chris Banjo. Yeah, ease that one up for a little bit.
Hey,
for you
if
guys.
Banjo does this, the trivia acts and all that, he knows everyone. He's like a personnel type guy. Like, we always ask, who is this on this team, Banjo? Oh, that's so-and-so. It's like all the time we just ask Banjo, who is that Banjo? He'll tell you what school he went to, everything. Banjo is like a personnel scout type guy.
You go through media guides and just read everybody's bio, I guess?
I don't know, but that's who we rely on all the time.
This one's interesting. This defensive back lists Brett Favre among his favorite athletes.
Micah Hyde.
No.
No, I don't know.
Casey Hayward.
No, Morgan Burnett.
Morgan,
yeah. Let's try this one. Sean, his wife and he shared the same last name before they got married.
Davon House.
Davon House. I made sure I asked you because I hope Davon would get that right. Before his time in Green Bay, he lists a Little League playoff grand slam as his favorite sport moment.
M.D. Jennings.
No.
Micah Hyde.
No.
I don't know who else plays baseball.
Who else plays baseball?
Jerron McMillan.
That might have been a lie.
Hey,
That might have been a lie.
check that out. You have to do a background check on that.
You know, yeah, it is. No, I might be wrong on that one.
Yeah, he
I
probably
might have
told you
screwed
that
that
one.
one up. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Davon, this individual has a family friend of former NBA player Theo Ratliff.
Where's Theo from?
I don't know where Theo's from.
I gotta say, is it MD or Sean?
Sean, is
Yeah,
that correct?
It's me.
Yeah, I knew that.
He tried to play. He
I
played
tried
the
to play
face
it off.
game and
One
everything.
of them two.
I like that. I like that. All right, we'll do a couple more of these. Older brother played at Michigan State, and step uncle played at Ohio State, as well as time with the Philadelphia Eagles and Chicago Bears. Kind of narrowing down the list.
I gotta say, I'm gonna guess again, Micah Hyde.
You're just guessing Micah
Yeah.
until you get this one right, aren't you?
One of these gonna be Micah.
You're finally right. It was Micah Hyde. All right. This defensive back has his own clothing line.
Tremont.
Tremont Williams.
I knew it.
Does he try to come
He
around?
dresses up
Yeah, he
every
dresses.
day.
Yeah.
Every day he dresses up.
What's it? 38
reasons.
38
38
reasons.
Yep.
Does he try to pitch you guys on his
I don't
clothing
know.
lines? and
Nah, but I would
He
treat him because
should.
he always dresses up.
He should give me some free gear.
Speaking about that with own thing, I got to bring this up. Devon, you brought some Davon House Lego men
Yeah.
to the show tonight.
Thanks to Scooter G's store.
Growing up, that's got to be a dream, right?
Yeah,
be a
it is.
Lego?
It is. It is now.
Be a Lego.
It's pretty cool, though. It's pretty cool.
That's
We got
when
'em
you
up
know
there.
you made it.
It's either you know you made it or you know someone who makes them.
All right, we got a couple more of these. I might be double dipping on some of the names, but he was picked number 1 overall in a team-wide dodgeball game. Said in the bio that he likes to talk about it too.
So
Did you guys play dodgeball ever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I'm going to just guess and say J-Mac.
No.
Jared Bush.
Jarrett Bush.
That's the right answer?
That is the right answer.
Ding, ding, ding. That's what, 2, 3 for me? 1 for you?
Nah.
Yeah.
Favorite TV shows include The First 48 and Criminal Minds.
It either Casey or Gerard.
It's Casey. It is Casey. A&E. That's your college teammate, so that's a little.
He
risky.
always talk about First 48.
All right, let's talk about that though. I mean, you go to the NFL, and you're probably not going to see any of your college teammates, anybody you know, and then you end up being there with Casey Hayward. What was that like? Not only that, but in the same meeting rooms, in the same area on the field. I mean, it's a guy you were playing with the last few years.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's just like college. We came in together. We was the only two that didn't red shirt, and we played together, so we was accustomed to each other. We even went on a visit together at Vanderbilt. Someone showed us, they had a picture of us on our visit, us playing together our freshman year, our parents sitting right beside each other with both our jerseys on, and both of us sitting beside each other as a Green Bay Packer with our jerseys on. So it was awesome.
That is pretty cool. What did that picture look like of you guys as high schoolers showing up to an SEC college?
It was pretty bad. I had long hair, cornrows and stuff. It was looking pretty bad, rough. But it just shows how we both matured and how we continue to work after our goals and achieve our goals, and we still here, still together. We actually live right beside each other and all that, so it's like we're almost like brothers. Can't be separated.
It's got to be different for you. New Mexico State, any teammates around the league?
We had Dante Savage that was here. We would let him go after the last cuts. We had a receiver, Tavion Rogers, who just got released from Cincinnati. We have a corner in Detroit. Then we have a receiver that I believe still plays for the Broncos.
You guys stay in touch, too? I mean, is that a teammate thing? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you play with Jordan Rogers, too.
Yes.
Obviously, everyone knows who his brother is.
Yes,
so.
Great guy, great kid.
All right, well, we'll get to some listener questions from our Twitter as well as our Facebook, our social media segment coming up next. That was our wild card segment. Like I said, sometimes it won't work out as well, so we'll do better next time. Davon House, Sean Richardson, we are in the huddle from Tanners and Kimberly here on the Woodward Radio Network. And we are back here at Tanner's Sports Grill in Kimberly in the huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. In the huddle brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm with Packers Davon House and Sean Richardson. I am Justin Hull. Transportation for our guests brought to you by L&S Classic Limousine. Lenny, how you doing tonight? Nodding his head, drinking his coffee, always having a good time. Time right now for our social media segment where we allow you listening statewide on the Woodward Radio Network as well as those here at Tanner's to tweet in some questions at In the Huddle Show. Questions come there as well as our Facebook page. You can like In the Huddle, and we'll choose a handful of questions to pass along to the guys each and every week. And first question, this one's coming in on the Twitter from Jim. He would like to know, Davon, you seem like a mild-mannered guy. What does it take to get you into an altercation kind of like it appeared like could have happened yesterday?
Well, on the field, I'm smart enough not to retaliate because I know if I do, I'm going to get fined. And I need all the money I can get. So I'm the type of guy to probably start it and hopefully they push me or they punch me and they get caught with it, and I'll just laugh in their face and be like, you're going to get fined now.
Kind of happened. You got a 15. You drew a 15-yarder yesterday, right?
Yep.
Can you take us into that, or we'll leave that on the?
So I was doing the gunner work, and the whole week our coach was talking about how great of a gunner this guy was. So we're running down, and I kind of gave him a little tug, and he fell down. And then after he fell down, I had two hands on him, and he decided to punch me. My face mask, which didn't hurt. It might have hurt his hand more than it hurt me. So I'm sitting there laughing, and then I go get in his face or whatnot. Then he headbutts me, and then they threw a flag. I was like, now you're going to get fined now. I just walked away.
What is the special teams fine? Is it? It varies based on what you do.
I don't know if he's going to get fined or not, but how does that work with throwing punches?
I'm not sure. I mean, if the refs would have seen him throw the punch, he would have been clearly ejected from the game. But I don't know about the fines. I'm gonna try to stay away from them.
That's as long as you find out don't find out what the fine is, you're doing good. So is that part of the special teams mentality, is to maybe get under somebody's skin? Because it seems like all the use the word hotheads are on special teams. A lot of the guys around the league make the special teams tackle. They like to. I shouldn't have used that word. I get a couple of mean glares right now, but you know what I mean. Some guys kind of get amped up a little bit more.
It's a veteran move, you know. After playing a few snaps, right, Davon House has, at a specialty, he know how to get under people's skin, and that's what you want to do. You want to get them out of their element, make them make a bonehead penalty that helps the team out, Mm-hmm. We always, looking for ways to, beat our opponent or get under their skin so they're not doing their job.
All right, we'll get to our next question here. This one's tweeted in from Zach. This is for both of you. Sean, if you want to start. In your spare time, do you ever think about an end zone dance and what you would do if you were able to take one to the house?
Definitely. Actually, I just got a text early this morning from my mom. She said, I got you a signature move that you should do, like when you get back out there, because I told her once I get back, I need a signature move. But I'm not going to tell you what it is. I just wait. But I definitely think about it all the time.
How about you, Davon? You got a nice one going, though.
Yeah, I'm going to throw up the house sign, and then we're going to do the Lambeau leap. I mean, leap is everyone does it, and hopefully, I get the opportunity to do it. But yeah, that's what I would do.
You mentioned the house sign, which I want to bring this up, is Davon's signature. And I heard there's a story behind that, because it is the house sign on Davon's signature.
Yeah. One day we were doing an autograph session for Green Bay, and my wife usually comes with me everywhere I go, and I'm sitting there doing I used to do D scribble scribble, H scribble scribble. And she's like, that's so ugly. Well, what do you want me to do? And so then she shows me how to do it. All right, I do it. So the next time I did it, like, oh dang, that's so cool. All right, well.
Did you guys ever practice autographs growing up? Like, you're sitting there in school and you got the book cover on there and you just practicing, all right, someday when I make it to the NFL, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I got an interesting story. Back when I was in the 6th grade in the junior high, I was sometimes not paying attention to the teacher, which kids shouldn't do. They should pay attention to all their teachers. But
Public
anyway.
service announcement from Sean Richardson. All you kids, pay attention in school.
Yeah. But one day I was just sitting there writing my signature, practicing my autograph, and one of my best friends, she was like, I'm going to keep this just in case, later on down the road you make it and stuff. So she wound up keeping it. And actually, it was in the newspaper. I had a big write-up in Nashville, and she sent me I asked her, did she still have it? She took a picture and sent it to me. And it was a whole sheet of paper with my signature all over it, like no space left. And I thought it was really cool because I always practice it. That's what I do now. It's still the same. But instead of 28, it was 21.
Yeah, all I see is scribble, 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 28. So I think, I don't know if his practice worked at all.
There's a lot of meticulous effort that goes into scribble, scribble, scribble two-way.
Yeah. You should see it.
All right, we'll get to one more question here. This one coming in from Tim on the Facebook page. Tim wants to know, Davon, you mentioned watching more college football. Did he get an opportunity to see Alabama and Texas A&M, and your thoughts on Johnny football?
Yeah, I got to watch the game. First, I thought Texas was gonna, Texas A&M was gonna blow them out. They went up 14-0. But the Texas A&M defense is no good, and Johnny football can't do it all.
We'll get more on that. I'll get your thoughts on that, being an SEC guy, from Sean Richardson. As we continue on in the huddle, we got one more segment to go. We'll wrap up our interactive segment as well as talk a little bit about next week's opponent, Cincinnati, which plays tonight on Monday Night Football. In the huddle from Tanner Sports Grill in Kimberly, here on the Woodward Radio Network. And we are back here at Tanner's in Kimberly in the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network, brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm each and every week. Davon House and Sean Richardson, our Packers guest, as we wind things down. And we were talking a little bit about Alabama versus Texas A&M SEC football, something that Sean's familiar with, playing at Vanderbilt. What's your thoughts on that game and, of course, the legend that is Johnny Football?
Johnny Football, he's a great player. He's a great player to watch. He's very exciting, he's always on TV. He's like the next Tebow, everybody.
Don't say that word.
But he's a great player, and he's on a great team. They just play a better team, in my opinion. Alabama, Nick Saban, they're just a powerhouse. They rebuild, they regroup every year. So it was an exciting game to watch, for college football.
Did you play Eddie at all? Because I know
game,
where he was. It was Trent and Mark Ingram, and he kind of was the backup.
Yeah, the game that we played Alabama, I think Eddie was out. He was injured. He didn't play that game. But I played against Trent Richardson, but not Eddie. I think Eddie was scared I was going.
He saw you on the game film, and he's like, "I'm going to sit this one out." Yeah. All right, let's go over a couple of numbers here. I just want to get your thoughts on these. 22 of 31 NFL games this year have been decided by 7 points or less. It's quite the parity around the league, and just kind of goes to show every single week you got to be on top of your game.
It's the NFL. I mean, day in and day out, every Sunday, you got to be prepared. Like you said, we're playing against men versus men, and it just goes to show you how competitive this game is. And, guys always want to win, and people are laying their hearts out on the line, and it's coming down to, final seconds of the game, and that's the way the game should be.
And just kind of how a season goes, and I think everybody likes to crown a champion each and every week. And last week, the San Francisco 49ers were on top of the world. And then last night, 29-3, they get pummeled by Seattle, which now, of course, puts Seattle on top of the world, and everybody's questioning what's wrong with the 49ers, kind of how the week goes. Did you watch that game at all last night?
Yeah, I watched the first half. After that, I didn't feel like watching it anymore.
The lightning delay kind of, derailed things, kind of pushed things back. You guys ever been part of a lightning delay? It seems like that's, I'm not going to call it the new trend in football, but we've seen so many of those of late.
I don't think I have. I'm glad I haven't either, which is good.
No,
I never had that issue, playing in college or high school. Well, actually, back in high school, we didn't have a lightning delay, but we had something similar to the Super Bowl. We had like a power outage, in which we was out, standing out in the dark in high school. Now, this is high school ball, and we were standing out in the dark for like 15 minutes. And then when we got back in, we warmed up halfway. And the very next play, I pulled my hamstring. So
Dang.
That was a bad experience.
I was going to say the power outage, 32 in your graduating class? Did the guy fell off the exercise bike to keep the power going?
Someone took the batteries out.
All right, a couple of NFC North notes. Jay Cutler brings the Bears back 31-30. Chicago in first place right now in the division. Do you guys even follow the standings, even worry about division opponents, or is that wait until the week when you guys see them?
I follow him. So I follow every week. I hope everyone in our division loses but us. But yeah, I follow it, and the one thing I do say about Chicago, they're finding a way to win right now. And they look like a new offense with their new offense coordinator, and Jay's winning games out there for them. So our division, different division, especially with Detroit, with getting Reggie Bush, they're looking really good too, even though they lost last week. So our division's getting better and better.
Megatron, is he a intimidating force out there? I mean, not intimidating, but just kind of a big specimen of a human being.
Yes, he's huge. I saw him in person last year for the first time, and I was like, wow. As a wide receiver, someone that big and fast and athletic, it's a gift, He's like almost like LeBron playing, football. That's what LeBron would look like playing football.
You guys should recruit him, get him out there for you guys.
Yeah,
he'd be a pretty good player.
Yeah,
pretty
good
good
in the
tight
red
end.
zone and
I
toss it to him.
don't know where he's going to play at, who he's going to play over, though. Our receiving core is so
Oh,
stacked.
yeah. Our
We're not
receiving
tight.
core nice. Maybe he should go down there to Chicago then.
Yeah, they can
No,
have them.
go to the AFC.
Yeah, AFC.
Go play somewhere there. Speaking of that, Manning Bowl yesterday, part 3. Last year, Super Bowl was Harbaugh Bowl. What would it be like to play against a sibling? I know Peyton and Eli kind of shoveled it off, didn't want to talk about it, didn't want anything to do with it, said their family was relieved it might be the last time that they play each other, but would it be neat to go up against a sibling?
I would figure it'd be fun. Well, with them two, it's different because they're playing against each other, but they're not facing each other, as you can say. It'd be fun to play if my brother was receiver and I'm playing DB. That would be fun, and I want to shut him down where he gets no catches, and I want to throw him around and fight him. So I mean that would be fun. But from what Eli and Peyton, they're not really seeing each other at all.
How about you, Sean?
Well, like I said, if it was my brother, I would like him to play wide receiver, running back, somewhere on offense, so I can go against him, kind of show him up, then I can have bragging rights for that year or that game or something. We could be at the dinner table and I can tease him, mess with him, but it'll be awesome. And I think, like I heard Peyton Manning said that he appreciate, playing against his brother.
Yeah.
He has memories and stuff of every game of playing against him and stuff like that, and I think it's very cool.
Well, it's Cincinnati coming up this week. You guys get to scout them again tonight. Good luck, and Davon, we'll talk to you in a few weeks. Sean, thank you so much for coming out. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me on the show.
All right, Sean Richardson, Davon House. I am Justin Hull in the Huddle, brought to you each and every week by Mills Fleet Farm on the Woodward Radio Network.